Before Miami Beach, before the nightlife, cocaine cowboys and Miami Vice, before it became the magic city we know today, Miami was born from humble beginnings. Intentionally designed to populate the state, the Homestead Act of 1822 allowed early Americans to have 160 acres if they moved to Florida and stayed there for 5 years.
Going back even before that, there were escaped slaves who came down on the Southern Underground Railroad all the way down to South Florida, and many of those people managed to get themselves to the Bahamas and freedom. So even going back to the late 1700s, there was activity here in South Florida towards one controlling the Seminoles that were very hostile by that time, and also trying to start agriculture in South Florida. In fact, we had a slave plantation here that didn't quite work out.
Development of the area boomed with the arrival of Henry Flagler's famous railroads, and a lucrative hotel industry followed where the railroads led. When his wife became ill, Flagler believed that the warm weather of South Florida would be good for her health, so he extended the railroad to the area we know today as Palm Beach. Flagler had been John D. Rockefeller's partner in Standard Oil until he sold his interest back to Rockefeller, earning him a $50 million payout. His arrival in Florida coincided with the arrival of two other influential figures of Floridian history. The first of these was Henry Plant, a railroad baron who made a fortune developing railroads in the southeast United States. It was Plant that connected the railroad from Jacksonville to the isolated area of Tampa. The other influential person was Julia Tuttle. Following the death of her husband and her father, she moved to Florida to take over her family's land holdings, which primarily consisted of orange groves. In order to get the railroad to Miami, Tuttle convinced another landowner, William Brickell, to give up portions of his land to Flagler. Flagler finally completed the railroad using land provided by both Tuttle and Brickell. At that time, Julia Tuttle owned 640 acres of land. That land is where Miami resides today. Officially incorporated on July 28, 1896, the city of Miami had a population of just over 500, with African Americans making up a fifth of the population. The infrastructure of Miami, including railroads, cities, and buildings, was mostly built by the hands of black men.
Miami was founded in 1896 when the railroad finally came this far south. And when that happened, thousands of people came to Miami. Most of them were black because of the nature of the work to be done here. And these people settled into an area called Overtown. It was called Colored Town in those days. In fact, people had to live there because the railroad more or less dictated that the northwest quadrant of the new city would be for Negroes. And that was the beginning of Black Miami, although we have some Bahamians here in Coconut Grove a little farther south, but that was really the beginning of Miami.